veteran who has been working in the Maldives for almost 5 years, 6 years as a neurosurgeon, very respected among Maldivian locals, and a very good surgeon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Niaf. Thank you, Maldivian Association of Surgeons, for inviting me and our neurosurgical team from AD. So we have one more addition recently, Dr. Zaida. So today my presentation will be on So my topic is on endoscopic transforaminal approach. So have you heard a story where a large obvious disc was removed and immediately after the patient is out of the anesthesia it says there is no relief of the pain. So what is the problem? What happened? Could it be anything other than this? Wrong level surgery, so definitely the pain will not go. Irritation due to the blood products, we usually tell the patient for first 5 days until we try to repeat the MRI. So, or pain due to prolonged crude nerve root retraction during the surgery. These are the obvious reasons for not pain going away, but can there be anything else other than this? So just don't look at this side, just look at the sagittal slice. Everything looks good. No dehydration, no desiccation, all the discs are white in color. Level is L2, L3. But when you see in the right, there is something in the left marked by the yellow line, which I'll highlight next. Many of us, Dr. Mishwar and all the neurosurgeons have already seen where is the lesion there. So this disc, which was pointed by the yellow line in the right in the axial slice in the previous image, this disc could be easily missed if there is an obvious larger disc herniation noted in the MRI in the same side, maybe in the different level, then this will be missed. We'll just go with that foraminal or central disc and we will not see this. Unless neurologically we have found out that there should be something else other than that. These kind of discs are usually not seen in sagittal slices. If you don't look for it, if you look for it, then only you'll find out. Hence, careful axial slices need to be inspected. The same level, in addition to a paracentral component, might have this foraminal extrusion. So after removing the paracentral component, we finish the surgery. But pain doesn't go away. This could be the reason to explain the first statement, the opening statement. So how to remove this foraminal disc now? That's the problem now. So the red marking is the compressed root in the foramen by the purple disc fragment impinging very badly. How to remove this? And let's forget that for sometimes. Now in this L2, L3 foraminal disc, which nerve is compressed? Exiting L2, traversing L2, exiting L3 or traversing L3? We'll see. So it is left exiting root. How? You can see here. The traversing root is going like this. So if it is a paracentral disc, then only it will be compressed. When the disc is far lateral or foraminal, then it will compress the exiting one. So it will compress L2 exiting root, since it is not paracentral and it's a foraminal extrusion. Now approaches for this disc. Although there are a lot of approaches, frankly speaking, we only do the first one. Posterior full laminectomy and discectomy. A lot of things will happen. Spinal instability, facet destruction, postoperative pain, atrophy of paraspinous muscles. Microdiscectomy, unilateral approach. You have to do medial facetectomy and angle the microscope. You can see some part of it, but everything can't be guaranteed that we have removed it out. MIS tubular microdiscectomy. very limited field of view, facet will have to be compromised, plus it's a steep learning curve. The fourth one, far lateral extraforaminal microdiscectomy. That is paramedian incision, visualization problem will be there, lot of bleeding, risk of dorsal ganglion and exiting nerve root injuries. And the fifth one, the famous one, interlamellar endoscopic approach, that is uniportal or biportal, next access to far lateral herniation, possible nerve root manipulation may happen. So among the evil, the best one is the sixth. So we'll discuss a little bit about foraminal endoscopic discectomy. So if we have to remove this foraminal disc of the left side by interlamellar approach, we have to go from the contralateral side. Doesn't look good. I'll be injuring the thecal sac definitely, and all the disc will not come out. So how it is done? So just enter from the contralateral interlamellar space or do some laminotomy, put the trocar in below the lamina, above the phlebum, and try to see the disc. Already sounds very difficult and steep learning curve, right? So what can be done now? Okay, just related to the main topic, just wanted to talk how the lumbar spine surgeries can be performed. Basically, there are three approaches: interlamellar, with or without laminotomy. Second one, if you are eventually fusing, you can just drill out the facet and enter from that area. Or if you are not planning to fuse, you can just use extraforaminal or the outer part of the facet through the Cambin's triangle. So, even if no one is practicing spine, they will clearly understand what interlamellar and transforaminal approach means. The left side, the APL lateral, it's interlamellar approach. In between two lamina, some endoscope is inserted and the disc is removed. In the second one, right side, it's a foraminal approach. That is, it's just outside the facet, just below the SAP, superior articular process. Just in front of superior articular process and just above the lower pedicle. That is the area where you have to dock your endoscope portal sheath. So, now this is the Cambin's triangle. See, if this disc gets ruptured normally, to compress the foramina, the fragments should go cranially up, right? But rarely it happens. It usually extrudes down or it will extrude backward. So it will almost always compress the traversing root, which is somewhere there, traversing root. You can see some shade there. But if this disc ruptures and the components travels upward and compresses or compromises this neural foramina, that will be the foraminal disc. And in that case, it will cause compression of the exiting nerve root, not the traversing nerve root. And this Cambin triangle is the safest triangle from where you can insert anything, endoscope, cases, or any injections or even discoplasty things can be inserted from here. So there's quite enough area for endoscopic surgeon. Now that was our disc. So this is the approach how we have to remove that disc. Now the case, a young Singaporean lady with Tamil ancestry came to neurosurgery OPD with 5 days complaint of radiating left pain without back pain or neurological deficit at Singapore General Hospital, National Institute of Neurosciences, Singapore. So a surgical decision was made. They do a lot of different and funny things sometimes. It was awake, left lumbar 2 and 3, transphenomenal endoscopic decompression. So luckily in this case, all the pictures I was able to take, so before the surgery started in the tea room, we planned, Dr. Lee Min Jin helped me understand this in his iPad. So basically, the exiting nerve root is this one, okay? Foraminal disc will compress the exiting nerve root. And just behind that, it will be the lower part of the L2 vertebra. And this one is the upper part of the L3 vertebra. And yeah, in between the two vertebrae there will be the disc. And just below or at the level of upper part of lower vertebra, pedicle will be there. And just above the pedicle or above the disc or above the disc face, there will be superior articular facet. So it is upper extension of the facet joint of the lower vertebra. Okay? So this is the safest area. You can even drill up to here, you can even dock and hit with the hammer, but you should be here. It is the safest area. And yeah, this is the dangerous area because there is exiting nerve root. And another exiting nerve root will be from here. So we will not go there, so you don't need to worry. Now, locating L2-3 level by SIAM, just the level location is not a problem, L2-3. But for the surgical landmarking, we need to know medial pedicle line also. Medial pedicle line is nothing, just the line where two pedicles are joined in the medial side. That is important in surgical planning. For foraminal discectomy using endoscopic approach. We might be forgetting what we are discussing, so just reminding. This is necessary to do what? To remove the foraminal disc with the help of endoscope. Now, this is the lady. So, this is the patient. This is the actual patient. The left side is the cranial side, the right side is the caudal side. Ani, this is the midline. Midline easy. Everywhere midline is same. This was the medial pedicle line. So, the incision, not actually incision, so the approach will be about 8 centimeter away from the medial pedicle line or 9 centimeter from the midline, little above the lower part of the upper bone, upper vertebrae. And this is the medial pedicle line because pedicles are here. So simple, in that line, by looking A and B both plane, try to direct it towards the Cammin's triangle, spinal needle. From the spinal needle, try to telescope the K-wire. And on the K-wire, just try to keep on putting the serial dilators, and finally, the dock or the sheath for the endoscopy hold will be there. Let's remove the dilator, and that is one. The left one, that is the end. You have to understand, this is not only the sheath. Look at the shape of the sheath. It is obliquely cut. It is very important. Just look the third slice. When you insert, it can be in any side, but the cut end, the longer end of cut end is eventually helped to retract the exiting nerve root little upwards. And the open end will give the image line for either 0 degree or 30 degree scope. So this cutting is also very important. If you were straight cut, to retract the nerve, you have to put all the endoscope part down. And so from where will you see the disc? Is very important. And safe zone, that is the second we already discussed, is the Cammin's triangle. This is SFT. This is the pedicle. So in that way, when you direct, we have to dock this sheath there. And you can even hit it because we are already in the safe area. And from there, after that, from this port, you have to insert the endoscope. This is the overall showing everything. It has everything there. The K-wire, serial dilators, and finally the port. And you can even hit, I told, so I have to prove it, that it is, they are hitting it. So, if drilling is necessary, you can do minimal drilling of the lower part of the SFT. And then this foraminal disc is out. Thank you so much. This is our neurosurgical team of ADK Hospital. But the pictures are not from the ADK, they are from Singapore. Thank you so much.